Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Woo. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we document the ongoing mission of the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah, these are the voyages. To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah.
Seek out new life.
Explore strange new worlds.
Yep.
Something else? No, that's not it.
I fucking wish it was that.
No, what we actually do is watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Are there more episodes of Star Trek?
Than Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No way in hell. So we watch Power Rangers and then we talk about it afterwards. I'm Matt.
I'm Michael.
We were going to have Angharad back again, but she is out due to injury, unfortunately. So
Yep.
we wish her the best in a speedy recovery.
We'll have her back later instead.
Absolutely. But we're going to power on with that today. Before we get started, we have a website that you can go to. That's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com.
Yep.
You can send us a Twitter tweet, which is @RangerDcast.
You can send us a regular tweet as well.
You shouldn't, though. That's for losers. You can send us an email, rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com.
We love emails.
We do love emails. They're definitely our favourite form of mail. And we also are on Facebook and iTunes and on Stitcher and YouTube. And we also have a shop.
We do have a shop. Where is it, Matt?
rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop.
Yep.
Where you can get mugs and shirts and all sorts of things adorned with the amazing artwork of our friend Ashley, who did the artwork for our show.
Some of them have our logo on them. Some of them don't. If you're ashamed of us,
Yep.
You shouldn't be. We're rad.
You should be proud of your association with
You
us.
should tell all your friends.
Definitely.
Tell all your friends.
Ooh. That's a magic...
Matt's doing like wavy hands that are presumably hypnosis.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have gone like more like that, but then like that looks like a dance. They can't see us.
They can't do that, no.
It's a terrible gag for a podcast.
We're not good at podcasting.
I don't know that I'd say that. We've done 75 episodes now.
Well, yeah, we certainly know how to keep it going.
Yeah, statistically, we're probably doing pretty well.
Yep. So do we have anything to do before we watch today's episode, which is episode number 75, entitled, amazingly, Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Park?
I don't know that it's ever going to be better than that.
No.
That's just...
It can't...
It's not a joke, right?
I don't think so.
Like...
It's just an amazingly overwrought title.
So we've got an email that we had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it talks about the episode we watched last week, so we've been saving it.
Sure.
So,
All right.
take it away.
So this is from... Beto? Is that right?
Alberto,
right. So he says, "Hi, guys and girls, if any. No, we almost had a girl, so you're almost right, but that did not pan out.
I'm a little uncomfortable with how that came out.
I'm Alberto from Chicago, Illinois. If my full name popped up, my last name is pronounced Quiroga, and I love your show." Okay, Alberto Quiroga. That's a really cool last name. Alberto Quiroga.
Much better than mine.
It is, definitely.
Yours is a real word. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So he says, "I love your show," which I appreciate.
We love your show, Beto.
Which is your life. The show of your life.
Yeah.
I'm a 20-year veteran of Power Rangers, watching it from its inception in 92 all the way to the current Super Mega Force. That's dedication.
Yeah.
I found the show somewhere on Facebook and have been binging through ever since. Oh, we really appreciate that. I've been listening every day for about 3 weeks now. Holy shit, you must be so sick of us.
I mean, I'm sick of us after 3 weeks.
But he's saying you can't listen at work, so that's fair. You shouldn't listen to us while working.
Unless, like...
You have a very menial job. Like, you're assembling rockets.
Like, we listen to music at work. I reckon I could listen to a podcast at work.
I can't, because I write.
You write, yeah, that's
So
fair.
it's difficult.
Yep, okay.
He's saying, "I just finished listening to the special podcast episode, and it was awesome." Oh, thank you.
We have to say, that got a very good reception. It's like our most downloaded episode of all time.
Yeah.
We don't know why. Like, not that we're surprised that people liked our stuff, but it's like...
That specific
many
episode.
downloads more than any of our other episodes.
Yeah.
I'm glad people dig it, but...
We're confused.
Yeah.
So you're saying that episode is awesome. I have a few songs of the album on my iPhone, but without the dialogue, making the songs more enjoyable, which is fair. Personally, I really liked We Need a Hero and rank it 1 below Fight. What's a high ranking?
I like We Need a Hero.
Yeah.
I like all of them, to be honest.
They've definitely grown on me.
Yeah.
I know that you guys didn't enjoy the album version of Zords because of the dialogue, so here is the instrumental version. Oh, he's given to that. Please take the time to listen to it and appreciate what it is, and remember the feeling you had when you guys first saw the Zords appear on the show, and know that shit just got real.
I don't remember, like, that would be a great feeling for a kid.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful that when the movie comes out, that moment gets the weight it deserves.
Absolutely.
Because
I'd love to take, if we can find a relative or someone of ours that's quite a young age who's never seen Power Rangers before,
Yep.
and is in that sort of 5 to 7 age bracket, take them to see the film and just see
that'd
what
be
their
good.
reaction is.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
we've got a year to plan that.
Yeah, absolutely. So he says, Matt, I think you enjoy this for your jogging music. Oh, thank you. Look at that. That's so nice. I will definitely put that on my jogging mix. Thank you. During Return of an Old Friend, you guys mentioned that once morphed, Tommy should have been able to fight against the putties. My theory is that the Green Ranger's powers are so powerful that not even Zordon himself is able to temporarily power them. Well, that's interesting. He says, Matt, I have reason to believe a Legacy Thunder Megazord is in the works. Excellent. Number 1, the Legacy Tigerzord is based off its original model, with the addition of the Zord builder parts, and it can combine with the Triceratops, Saber-toothed Tiger, and the Mastodon.
So the Zord builder parts, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a series of identically sized plugs and holes that mean you can take any of the Zords apart and connect them together appropriately.
Yeah, which is
it's a very clever system.
It is. And number 2, it was announced at Power MorphinCon that the Legacy line was planned to be extended through the first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin. Yes! So we can probably expect Nijin and Shogun Megazords.
So very recently, they have announced that they're re-releasing the Legacy Megazord.
Yep.
It sold out and was very hard to get for a long time.
Yep.
And then there was what looked like a release of like the last of the product. They sent it out to some places, and that's where I got mine.
Yep.
But they've re-announced it at the standard like original price,
Yep.
which I'm a little upset about, to be honest. But that's fine. So I don't know that necessarily signifies the release of another one in the future.
But if they're doing so well...
But that definitely says that the line is doing well enough for them to send it back for a retool and a rebuild. So I'd say at this stage, it certainly doesn't look unlikely. And I might have to get that White Tigerzord.
Yeah. Now, I'm not super hot on the Ninja Megazord, but I'm all about the Shogun Megazord.
Sure.
So I may unfortunately end up with a Legacy Thunder Megazord and a Legacy Thunder Shogun Zord, because they're super, super hot. Hot shit. Continuing on, he says, I've been contemplating how the Thunder Zords would be transformed to fit the Zord Builder technology, and I believe either the Red Dragon will be its own separate toy like the original, or it would hinder and be a smaller version to be packaged with the other 4 Zords, and have removable arms and legs.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, because it wears the others almost like armour.
Yeah.
It doesn't really need that Zord Builder technology to work, but also it'd be really disappointing if it doesn't kind of work like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's certainly an engineering kind of challenge, but I guess we'll see.
So he said, speaking of PMC, I hope you guys, I think that's Power MorphinCon.
That's Power MorphinCon.
Yep. Hope you two attend next year. I'm not 100% sure if I'll go, but I believe it would be really great to experience, a really great experience for you guys. You should do a live podcast during the event with some fan interaction.
I mean, look, that would be amazing.
We would love to do that.
I can't think of anything that would be better for us.
No.
Unfortunately, we are on the wrong continent.
Yeah. It would cost us many, many thousands of dollars to make that happen.
I'm definitely not ruling out at some point in the future us being there.
Yeah.
But I think next year is probably not going to happen.
That'd be this year, wouldn't it? Because it's 2015 now. There's another one this year.
Oh, yes, it's every odd-numbered year. Is that right?
I have no idea. Either way, we'd love to attend the next one that happens. Unfortunately, probably can't afford it until...
No, the next one will be next year in 2016.
Okay, well, maybe.
That's in June. That'll be good. That'll be right before the movie comes out. That'll be a very big event.
We would love to do that. We will try, but again, probably not going to happen.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I might try. I don't know.
So he says, by the time you read this, either you'll be on or past the episode Missing Green.
We are now, because we cleverly saved the email.
Organisation.
Woo, woo, woo!
If you are, read the following sentence. If not, don't spoil it. Okay, so we're going to read it out. At this point, 2 things will happen. 1, this is the first episode to use the first episode of Die Ranger.
Thank God for that, right?
Yep. And 2, you'll notice that when morphed, Jason, Zack, and Trini sound different.
Yep.
Of course, you know why. For those who may not, the actors who played their respective characters already left the show and were no longer available for ADR. So be prepared for some repeat footage later on.
I'm kind of excited about, like, obviously it will be sad when they leave.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see all this stuff with, like, body doubles and reused footage.
It's
and
an interesting technical challenge, isn't it?
and I'm given that, I mean, this show is nothing but an interesting technical challenge, I think, from a lot of perspectives.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they try to deal with it and how obvious it is to us knowing that.
Yeah, because we'll be looking for it, I guess, which is almost unfair in the show, but it is what it is. So he says, you guys are the highlight of my day. Aww. You're there on my drive to and from work, when I'm working on my Pokemon tabletop RPG, that sounds awesome, and when I go to sleep. Not physically, of course, because that would be awkward and weird. Well, it doesn't have to be.
He doesn't know.
Keep up the great work, guys, and may the power protect you. Oh, thank you, Albert. That's a very nice, comprehensive email.
Yeah, covered all the things. We like emails.
We love emails.
Love emails. Do you want to put that back in the dumpster?
Yeah, alright. I'll peel the lid off. Oh, God. Does it get heavier?
I think it's because it was designed to be on the moon.
Right.
It's designed for the light gravity to be heavy up there. So when we bring it down to Earth...
Super heavy.
Super heavy.
Good for the biceps, though.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're going to get ripped getting all these emails.
Put the email back in the dumpster. Drop it back down.
Alright. Let's talk about something else.
Okay.
Let's talk about Beats of Power.
What is Beats of Power?
Beats of Power is a fan-made Power Rangers, like, beat-em-up game.
What?
It's available for download, and we'll put the link in the show notes. I'm going to pause now. I downloaded and played a little bit on the train during the week. I'm going to pause the recording now. We'll show Matt, and then we'll come back.
Okay, Michael, what was that game called?
That was called Beats of Power.
Okay, that's Beats of Power. Stop listening to this podcast. Why are you listening to podcasts? Podcasts are stupid. You know what are awesome? Video games.
I had to
That was amazing.
forcibly stop Matt from playing that just then.
I was having so much fun playing that game.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 16-bit style.
It is as good as a 16-bit beat-em-up of that era. And I know because I played a lot of them.
It's got a 2-player mode that we should probably try at some other point.
Yes.
But we had to stop because otherwise we'd never have recorded the rest of this episode.
Yeah. Look, I was having a very good time. You know what I found really interesting about that? Is that it's got the original cast of Original Rangers plus the White Ranger.
Yes, it's set in a very limited time frame.
And it's like a period of time that everyone thinks of, I think, as the iconic time.
Yep.
Like the original Rangers with the White Ranger. But as you said, like, it's such a very small...
It's like less than 12 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when they're all really together, it's more like 8 or something, isn't it? So
It's not long.
Not long at all.
Okay.
So fun. Find Beats of Power, play it.
There's a
You'll
link
love
in the
it.
show notes, guys. So the reason, Matt, that I just played that strange song to you was that while you were playing that game, I did some research.
Okay.
Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Park is a joke.
Oh, is it?
It's a reference to the 1970s new wave synth pop group Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark.
Right.
Who, according to Wikipedia, were described as the Beatles of synth pop.
Well, you know how those 5-year-old kids in the 90s loved 70s synth pop?
Yeah, that's certainly the issue, I would say, is...
definitely not the right reference for that crowd.
Yeah, it's not even, like, the right reference for all of their parents.
No.
It's not like it's a reference to, like, Duran Duran or, like, a band that everyone would have known. Although I did know that song from Pretty in Pink.
There you go.
So...
Hang on. How familiar are you with Pretty in Pink?
Not super, but I know that song.
All right.
And they, like, released an album in 2013. They reformed in 2006.
Wow.
So...
That's actually a very modern reference on their part.
Yeah, they didn't know it, but they were making a reference that would stay exactly as appropriate for 20 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go.
So we're going to go watch Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Park.
Yep.
You can do that if you want and come back and listen to the podcast, or you can go play Beats of Power.
Matt, can you... Please stop telling people to stop listening to our show, okay?
All right, look, you could probably do both things. Listen to our podcast, then go play the game.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
You'll have a good day if you do that.
Wait, and then pretend that what we're talking about is the fight that you're currently experiencing.
Yeah. We'll come over to your house and narrate your experience and critique it as you're playing. Be like, oh, don't think the Megazord would really do that, you know?
That sounds unfun.
No, you're right. Okay, scrap that. Scrap that plan.
All right, we're going to go watch. We'll be back in a sec.
All right, welcome back. We just watched Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Park.
Yep.
No orchestras, but that's okay.
You know what? Since Judd Lynn wrote an episode, this show is like, it hasn't been great, but it's been a solid set of episodes, with the exception of the two-parter that drove us insane.
That's right. That did actually warp and permanently damage my mind.
Yeah.
But no, I understand what you're saying. Like, this was okay.
Yeah, this was like a perfectly fine episode that I don't think I'd ever, like, go back to.
No.
But...
Although, like, seeing all of those monsters together, we'll get to that in a second, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest skipping it if you were on your first time through.
Particularly because we're going to lose this set of Rangers soon.
Yep.
And there's not going to be any pomp or ceremony about it, really. This was kind of a nice, not greatest hits, because they weren't the greatest, but...
No, there was no pumpkin wrapper anywhere.
No, it was hits, you know, so...
Okay, so Trini and Zach are at the juice bar.
Yep.
Richie is behind the counter.
Yep.
And Curtis is there as well.
That's right, so we've got our two red herrings front and centre.
I really like them being here. Like, it broadens out the world.
It does.
Very slightly.
It does make it seem like there's other people out there.
Yes.
That they see on a regular basis, not people that appear in their lives for an hour and then disappear forever.
Lose a dog or, like, date Billy once and then disappear.
Exactly.
So Curtis plays the trumpet.
Yep.
And there's, like, a performance tomorrow.
Yep.
But Curtis just moved here. So Curtis's trumpet is still on the truck, or...
Yeah, you should really travel with your trumpet, but that's fine.
I mean, I do feel like if I played a musical instrument, that would go in the car with me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he needs his trumpet.
That'll be our Ranger Danger life lesson for this week.
Yep.
If you're moving house, travel with your trumpet. Otherwise, it may lead to trumpet-related monster escapades.
Yeah, you never know. So, Zach's uncle, and by extension, Curtis's uncle...
I think that's how it works.
Is Curtis his cousin? So I guess it's like they're... Like, not Curtis's dad.
No, it'd be also an uncle.
Yeah. Like the third brother.
Yeah.
Was one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time.
Michael, when that was said racists. And yes, that's pretty on
let's
point.
be like, Zach's things are like hip-hop and dancing.
Yeah.
And now we learn that, like, oh, there's another black kid, and it's not like his interests are like kung fu and chess. He's a trumpet player in a jazz band.
Yeah.
Like... look, they've got two black characters. That's worth something.
Yep, that's true.
They are related, but, you know, whatever. So the trumpet is, like, stored in the attic or something. He'll just bring it in and loan it to Curtis. Seems like maybe Curtis should have it.
Yeah.
Like...
He should be the one in the family who inherited it.
Yeah, you know. I mean, speaking of inheriting it... certainly the suggestion is that the uncle is no longer around.
You know, we haven't done this in a while, and that's relate Power Rangers to our lives to sort of explore that a bit. Have you ever inherited anything?
No. I've, like, of my family, only one of my grandparents has passed away.
Right.
So all of those things are still with my grandfather, and he's 88, but he's never going to die.
Okay.
So
it's very hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, no, I've never been in a situation where I've inherited anything.
Okay.
What about you?
Like a few odds and ends. Like, I've gotten, like, a cool watch and stuff like that I'm very fond of.
Cool.
A cool old watch and a very old camera. But one of the coolest things, and I think the thing that comes with the best story, is my great-grandfather was a man that was shorter than me. And I'm quite a short dude, so he was very short in stature. And he used to run his own business.
Right.
And this was the time before, like... you know, banks or any sort of electronic means of payment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the end of the day, he used to have to walk through the city with his big bag of cash and take that to the bank.
Yep.
So what he had was...
Isn't this Samuel L. Jackson's story from Captain America? Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you pretending to be Samuel L. Jackson?
So what he used to have was... a walking stick.
Right.
That when you pulled the handle off, it was like a blade that was as long as the walking stick that sort of came out of
Okay, Matt, I have a question.
Yeah.
We've known each other for, like, I think we worked out as, like, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Why have I never seen you with a walking stick? If you own a sword walking stick.
Well, technically it's illegal to have this thing on your person.
Okay.
So...
that is probably a good reason.
Can't really go around with it. The thing is, it is so old that you'd have to be working very hard to cut someone with it. It's
I
not
see.
in like weapon like order.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then there was also just like a little stick that's like covered with got a heavy end on it that's covered in fabric, but it's very solid on the end. And apparently, you just have to just brain people on the head.
Did he ever have to use it? Do you
Not
know?
to my knowledge, but I suspect it's one of those things where someone comes up to rob you, you flash your giant blade, and they're like, "Okay, maybe tomorrow."
All you do is like just pull it out slightly,
Yeah.
and they go, "Okay, you're a dude with a sword."
Yeah.
So
Next person. Yeah.
let's rob the next dude carrying a big bag of cash.
Exactly.
Speaking of old relatives, this is entirely unrelated, other than it's slightly musical.
Okay.
This is, I think, our great uncle, maybe. Certainly a relative like that, not like a close relative.
Yeah.
Was all of my family are Maltese.
Yeah.
So everyone, like all 4 of my grandparents were born and raised in Malta.
I did not know that.
Yes.
It's Maltese on both sides.
Yes.
You're so Maltese.
I'm fully Maltese,
That's-
except for the part where I know nothing about Malta and don't really care about Malta.
Okay. Can we get a Malta one day?
I mean, I guess.
It seems nice.
It's like this big and just nothing but sandstone.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to go.
I like ocean.
Look, if you want to stay with my family, I'm sure that could be arranged.
Do they live in Malta?
All my grandparents, not all of them, but many of my grandparents, siblings and cousins are all still over there.
That's really cool.
I mean, I guess.
All right. Back to your story, and I'll think about Malta while you're talking.
My great uncle or something like that, he was semi-famous in Malta he did like a musical act.
Yeah.
And what it was he played the accordion, right? But he had a costume that was designed to look like a mother holding a baby, so that he was the baby playing the accordion.
That's really...
So there was like a shoulder-mounted arrangement,
to hold it all in
designed to look like a woman holding a baby.
Yeah.
And like he would be the baby and play the accordion. And apparently he was like quite noteworthy for it.
place. Well, that's a noteworthy thing.
It certainly is. Unfortunately, as far as we can tell, there's no videos on YouTube.
Because it's like, presumably it was like 100 years ago that this happened.
Oh no, I believe it was at a point at which there could have been video of it.
Okay, all right.
But just we don't have access to any.
That's sad, because that would be amazing.
I mean, I cannot imagine anything better.
That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm glad we got some of that.
Thoroughly unrelated, but you know.
No, look, I'll take it. It's a good story.
Sure. All right, that was Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger.
Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
So, greatest jazz musician in the world. He's
Yep.
going to get this greatest jazz musician's trumpet.
Yep.
And use that for his performance. Now, to do that, Zach is going to have to go through the park with some of his friends to get to his
Yep.
house, because you can't get from any point, as we've discussed, in Angel Grove without going through the park first.
Yeah.
Because the Juice Center is at the centre of a giant park.
I have a question.
Yep.
Matt, I know you're not a trumpet player.
Yep.
When you were moving a very valuable trumpet from place to place,
Yeah.
would you put it in some sort of case?
Definitely.
At least a bag? Something other than just holding it?
Especially if it was an incredibly valuable trumpet like this one. Yeah.
Zach is just carrying it.
Yep.
And look, I understand from a props point of view, they want it to be obvious that he's holding a trumpet.
Yeah.
But they could have shown him putting it into the case.
I think the Batman 66 way of doing this would be to have a case as trumpet written on it in big white text.
Yes, that would definitely be the way. The cartoon way is the case is just the shape of a trumpet.
Yeah. We're so well versed in media.
I just think there's alternate solutions. Especially because when the putty fight that's about to start happens, he just drops it onto the sand.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't even
That's not
gently
good
put
for a
it
trumpet.
down. He just...
It's not great.
So Lord Zed's plan
Yeah.
is he's going to cast a hallucination spell on the trumpet.
Yep.
In this case, the spell looks like dust because...
It's Lord Zed's fairy dust. But he can't call that because it's very emasculating, so...
Sure, so it's a spell.
It's a spell, in air quotes.
And that hallucination spell is going to make the Rangers, when they hear the trumpet, think that they're fighting some other monsters. That'll exhaust them.
Yeah.
And then Trumpet Top, his new monster, will take them out.
Yep.
It's a pretty good plan.
It's okay.
It begs the question of why he doesn't just send down 7 monsters and have them actually have to fight them. Because...
You can't have more than one monster.
That seems like the version of this plan that ends in success to me. But anyway, it's a good putty fight.
It is a very good party fight. I've talked before about how playgrounds make for good putty fights. This is a cool one because it's one of those big wooden playgrounds, and it's very well staged, and they use the geography of it really well.
Yep. Kimberly flips over a thing and does a kick off a pole.
There's some very cool shots, like where Zach jumps up onto the fort, like pushes off it in the air, and then kicks from that into a putty. It's really cool. There's a bit where Billy kicks a putty so hard it goes up the slide and over the top of the fort.
Kimberly kicks it.
Oh, sorry.
Because then it flies off the other end, lands in front of Billy, who doesn't take the opportunity to just tap it in the centre and walk off.
No. Which is the badass end to that scene.
Yeah.
Instead it just, like, pans away. It's odd. It's super odd. But while all this awesome putty fight is going down, one of the putties sneaks out from under the fort.
He's, like, crawling on his hands and knees.
Yeah. Pours the spell, air quotes, onto the trumpet, and then proceeds to crawl back under the fort. Which, we don't see the Power Rangers go under the fort to get him, so presumably he's still there.
I imagine he comes out the other side and gets involved in the fight or something like that.
No, I choose to believe that he remains hidden, both from the Rangers and from Lord Zed, and then goes on to live a life.
Oh, that's nice.
Going back to that game we played before we started, one of my favourite things was there's a bit where there's some people in trench coats in the background, and then when you get near them, they pull off their trench coats and their putties.
Yep.
And I like the idea that a trench coat is all you need to look like a person.
I believe that to be true for this show.
Yeah. So I think that putty is now wearing a trench coat and is out in the world.
Okay, he's got like a big hat that wouldn't cover anything in real life.
Yeah.
But in this show, he's enough of a disguise.
That's right. So now he's an accountant.
How would you like your steak, sir?
Yeah. He's from out of town. That Florida accent is really thick.
So, Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
Their plan is they're going to make a cast of the Power Rangers footprints.
Yeah. You know how you said at the start of the season it'll be good for them to have a consistent objective?
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that now, Michael?
Look, it's better than them getting goop splashed on their face. And I know that because they get goop splashed on their face this episode.
Yeah.
And I was reminded of how terrible it is.
That's true. Yeah, to me, it's wearing itself thin a bit.
Yeah, so they need to have some sort of success.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you could have them slowly begin to narrow it down.
Yeah, just to ratchet up the tension a bit.
Yeah. And then, like, you go, shit, if they figure this bit out, like, in the Venn diagram, they'll be left with the 5 teens.
Yeah.
But,
no.
They're just terrible every week. What else is new? So their plan is they've gone to where the Power Rangers were last seen, which doesn't look like the last place we saw the Power Rangers, but anyway. And they're going to make a cast of the Power Rangers footprints.
Yeah.
And then, like in Cinderella, they're going to try everyone's feet in the cast. And then
The thing is, the Power Rangers wear boots.
they're going to find people whose feet are the same size as the Power... Here's the reason it works in Cinderella, right?
Yeah.
One is that it's a shoe, which is magically designed for her and thus very specifically fits her foot.
Yeah.
And 2, he knows what her face looks like.
Yes.
So that probably helps in narrowing it down slightly.
And I can buy that the magic of the Power Rangers suits makes their boots exactly fit to their feet.
Sure.
But no, like, there's no reason for Bulk and Skull to know that necessarily.
No, absolutely not.
So if they find someone whose feet matches the size of that boot shape, it's still like, okay, you might be a Power Ranger, but that's not going to hold up in court.
Yeah,
you know?
it might narrow it down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they don't know that the Power Rangers have secret identities at all.
Yeah.
They don't know that they're humans. They certainly have no reason to believe that they're teenagers. Like...
Yeah, there's
got to be thousands of people living in Angel Grove, judging by the size of the town that we've seen.
It's not a practical solution.
No, in any way.
So when Kimberly and the others were leaving that putty fight, Kimberly, like, surprisingly insightfully says, "Oh, there must have been a reason for that."
Yeah,
which is weird because there never is. Like that happens to them every week, seemingly for no reason. I don't understand why you'd be like, "Oh, this week it felt like there was something going on," despite the fact that...
Did we have any kind of significant object around that we left unattended for 3 minutes?
That has now disappeared? Oh, no, because they get it back.
They get it back.
Yeah, of course.
So, we're at the jazz concert.
Yeah.
It's pretty jazzy. It's definitely not anybody who's actually on set playing, but...
I think the guys in the background are playing.
Oh, they probably are playing, yeah.
But they also look like they're 40, Which is weird that they're in the band with this 17-year-old black gentleman.
He's a prodigy, Matt. So, you know,
I see.
You go to where the heat is.
And sometimes the heat is in a young man.
You've said that often. Okay. None of the Power Rangers can particularly dance to jazz.
Well, jazz is very hard to dance.
Oh no,
to.
I agree, but they're all trying.
Yeah,
and I suspect that that's probably a no music actually playing on set.
So they
problem.
just sort of randomly.
So they just like the beat is just do something.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. It does look a bit awkward.
It looks super awkward.
And then yes, there is a spell comes out of the trumpet.
Yep,
and they kind of falter for a bit and then
shake it off.
Get back to dancing.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Oh.
By the time this comes out, that may or may not have won the Triple J Hottest 100.
God, I hope so. For our American listeners,
There's
Triple J.
This is the most tangential thing we will ever have covered on this podcast. And I say that as someone who just told a story about his great uncle's baby accordion costume. Okay, so the Triple J Hottest 100 is Triple J is a radio station every year on Australia Day, which is like our 4th of July, but we're more ashamed about it.
Yeah.
They reveal a listener voted for, like, hottest 100 songs of the year. Triple J used to be a very big youth radio station.
It still is.
It still is, but the general kind of purpose of it has shifted somewhat. The radio is on its way out.
Yeah.
It's no longer like the monolith of youth culture that it used to be.
It's still pretty huge for that, like, 17 to 30-year-old.
That's certainly true for some of them, certainly. Yeah. But I think a lot of people who previously would have been really into Triple J have now gone, I can get, like, stuff that's closer to what I want elsewhere. So there's it's a bit more alienated.
Yeah. And it's definitely, it hews to a very specific sort of alternative set. But technically, it's open to any sort of music.
Yes.
Because you can vote. Like, it has a selection of all the songs they played on the radio station, but you can also add stuff in.
Yes. So, typically, the winner of the Hottest 100 is a song that nobody wants to win the Hottest 100. It's not usually a bad song, but it is normally a song that everyone goes, like, is that the winner? Which is because when you have, like, thousands of people voting on something, the most mainstream song is going to become the winner just by numbers. That's how it works. So
there's a BuzzFeed article that encouraged people to go in and use the ability to add a song to vote for Taylor Swift's "Shake It Off," which is enraging the alternative sort of hipsters.
Here's the deal: it wasn't. There were no odds. They added it to the odds books at 251 to 1.
Yeah,
it is currently the second place odds to win the Hottest 100.
Yeah. There will be a meltdown in Australian alternative culture if it wins the Hottest 100.
It will kind of be beautiful, I'll be honest. I'm thinking about voting for the Hottest 100 for the first time in my life.
And I think, like, I don't ever want to be spiteful, but the reason I ended up going in and doing that, voting for Taylor Swift, is I generally like the song. Like, it's quite good. It's catchy, and I love Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people that have been like, oh, you can't do that. Triple J is for supporting independent artists that don't really get the time on regular radio stations, so it's not fair for you to vote for someone like Taylor Swift. But last year, the people who came second were Daft Punk.
Yep.
So that argument does not hold up. What it really is that you're an elitist.
Yeah, well,
you can't stand Taylor Swift because she's popular.
Certainly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Power
Rangers.
That was Mighty Morphin Australian Music Station Radio Danger.
That'll be a good one for the next cut.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm going to try that again. Mighty Morphin Triple J Danger.
There we go.
Triple Danger. No, it doesn't work.
Don't do it.
We don't know at this point. It's not Australia Day yet.
Yep.
But we will keep you posted.
On that.
Anyone who hasn't heard this episode... In fact, I'll put a post up on Australia Day telling people who've won. They won't have heard this yet. They won't have any idea why that's important. It's going to be great.
Fantastic.
It's going to be beautiful. Okay, so... Bulk gets cement in his mouth. Let's not...
Hang on. Back to that trumpet performance.
Yeah, sure.
Afterwards, they were like, yeah, that was really good. And then Billy says, oh, that far exceeded my expectations.
Yep.
Which is a douche thing to say.
Sure.
Right?
But Curtis is confused.
Yeah. Everyone, does a double take, and it's because Curtis is confused by that sentence. But at first I read it as everyone appropriately reacting to that and be like, hey, That's a shitty thing for you to say, Billy. But in fact, it's just that everyone is confused by the...
Here's the weird thing. That's not an unusual sentence.
It's not technobabble.
Yeah, it's just... He's obscuring his point somewhat.
Yeah.
But he's not...
No, that shouldn't be above high school level understanding.
Exactly. But anyway, Bulk gets cement in his mouth.
Yeah, so...
He should go to the hospital immediately.
They're trying to make a cast. Skull is up the hill. He has some cement in a wheelbarrow. He pushes it down the hill to where Bulk is. He loses control. And then the cement goes all over Bulk and Skull. Which I, in that moment...
You actually, got worried.
I was like, that you shouldn't do that. That is extremely dangerous. That's not like, I got some goop on my head or I rolled down a hill.
No.
You're in a very serious medical situation.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a kid television show. But anyway...
Is it, though?
Yeah.
The shit that's happened to those guys. But it was just seeing them get goop on their face for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah.
Part of it was, refreshing in that we haven't seen it. But part of it was, I remember when this bit used to be really shit.
Yeah. It was, you don't want to go back to that.
Okay, so, Grumble Bee.
Yeah, Grumble Bee appears on the beach.
And then Saliguana.
Yep.
And Fighting Flea.
Yep.
And Soccadillo.
Yep.
And Rhinoblaster. And Mantis. And Stag Beetle. And Slippery Shark.
Yeah, they all turn up.
Oh, man.
That's pretty cool.
That's great. And there's, a properly extended fight sequence of the Rangers taking them on one at a time, fighting two at once, 2 against 1.
It is cool to see that, because you never see multiple monsters.
No.
And seeing multiple of those monsters running around fighting with the Rangers is pretty cool. I guess the only disappointing bit of it is that none of them use any of their abilities.
Yeah.
The shark doesn't go under the ground, Grumble Bee doesn't do any of his things, they're all just punching, basically. Yeah. But, look, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Good to see. And as I said earlier, it was a good sort of I remember those guys.
Yeah.
That makes me think of...
we saw them and remembered all their names.
Yeah.
Which makes me a little sad.
Yeah.
There's lots of good information I could have stored in my brain.
We're wasting our lives.
And instead I remembered Saliguana. So, here's the deal. Alpha thinks, holy shit, they've sent an emergency signal, everything's bad. But he looks in the viewing globe, and just punch in the air, Matt.
Yeah. That's so weird. What could possibly be the case here?
So he does a scan.
Yeah.
There's no monsters. Which... He should have sensed one monster.
That's the thing. I had that written down as well.
There is a genuine monster on the planet.
He says multiple times, but there's no monster. It's like, but there is, though. There's definitely a monster.
No, we know how this works.
Yeah.
So there's nothing there, and Bulk and Skull walk over and see the Rangers punching the air.
Yeah.
So Zordon says, teleport him here.
Yeah.
And there's a nice bit where, when they get to the command centre, Jason goes, they could be on the way to the city right now, what the fuck?
Yeah. And it's interesting, they all get a line in like that.
Yeah.
And at no point does Zordon be like, guys, settle down, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've got something to tell you. He just lets them run.
And then he goes, no, they're not real.
Yeah.
They're in your head. You're making it up.
You idiots.
This is Trumpet Top.
Yeah.
Lord Zed's new monster. And he can make you see things.
Yeah.
So...
Go kill him.
You were just punched in the air.
Yeah.
You looked pretty silly.
Yeah, Alfred and I, we had such a laugh.
What he says is, the irony of your situation is that there are no monsters. Zordon, that's not irony.
Not only is it not irony, it's kind of a dick thing to say.
Yeah, exactly.
That is kind of on that spectrum of it was funny because there's no monsters.
Yeah, you were just punching the air.
You thought you were all going to die. Oh, what a douche.
Yeah.
So, Jason says, back to action. They leave. And then immediately after that, Lord Zed says, more action is what they want. I'll give them some action. Interesting about that is that it confirms Lord Zed can hear everything that goes on in the command center.
I think what we just have to accept is that Lord Zed and Zordon can both see and hear everything that goes on in the other's respective bases.
Except when they can't.
And the idea that they're ever surprised by anything is
ridiculous.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Last week, Lord Zed could see into Goldar's Dark Dimension.
Yeah.
That's another dimension.
Yeah.
Why can't he see on the moon?
Who knows?
I'll tell you, it's 2014. I could see the moon if I wanted. I could not see another dimension.
Well, have you tried, though? Really tried?
I don't have a dimension telescope.
Okay. Well, We'll get one and we'll let you know how that goes.
I've looked. They don't have them.
Oh. Not even on eBay.
No.
What about Gumtree?
I haven't tried Gumtree.
Try Gumtree.
I'll try Gumtree.
All right.
Okay, so Trumpet Top is giant.
Yep.
We get a fight. We get the Megazord.
Yep. The Lord Zed also says, I'm going to put you out of my misery. That's not how that saying goes. It's a very common idiom, Lord
It's not
Zed.
even really a clever way to rearrange the idiom to mean a different...
It doesn't really make sense.
No.
So yeah, Zords.
Yep.
Thunder Zords. We get our first proper Thunder Megazord battle.
I feel like it's a little too short.
Yeah, it is quite quick. It's fun though.
It's good.
Yeah.
So Trumpet Top breathes some fire.
Yep.
He manages to grab the Thunder Saber.
Yep.
Which isn't a saber, I don't think, but anyway.
It is more of like a samurai sword, isn't it?
Yeah, but anyway, so he's got it, and that's worrying because he's got a sword now.
Yeah.
But the attack, they've got like a built-in lightning defense system, like their Batman.
Yep.
So that shocks Trumpet Top.
Yep.
They get it back, they make him explode.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
He does like some jumpy flips and some jumps in the air. And
Yeah, it's a fast fight scene, but it's good, and it has something absolutely unique that we haven't seen before.
Which is that they're in the same room.
Yeah, well, there's that. But I more meant that the defense mechanism on the sword.
Sure, yeah.
And like, if they can keep it, not necessarily every week, but every few weeks, throw in a new aspect to the fight.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's right. I'm really down for it.
Yeah. And we finally get that shot, which I love, of the Thunder Megazord destroying the monster and then turning around and sheathing its sword
as it explodes.
Because it was cool when the Megazord did that before, but the sheathing of the sword...
No, sheathing makes it
adds
better.
everything to it. Yeah.
Now we just have to get up to the point where, as it sheaths its sword, that's what makes the monster explode.
Yeah.
Like the point at which those two are choreographed to happen simultaneously.
I think we do get that soon as well.
I really hope so, because I'll be honest, that is my favourite thing in everything.
Yeah.
So, back at the youth centre,
Yeah.
Bulk and Skull have got a colossal slab of concrete,
Yeah.
which looks like it should be too heavy for Bulk to be carrying on his own. But he is.
It looks huge. Not only that, that's not how casts work.
No.
Because they were going to cast a footprint. That would make a foot shape.
Yes.
Right? What they bring in is a giant slab of concrete with foot imprints in it.
Is it possible that they cast it and then did a reverse cast of the casts?
It's possible, but about 8 times out of Bulk and Skull's skill level.
Is it more likely that they just didn't really think about it when they made the...
That is certainly more likely.
Okay, sure. So it's very heavy.
Yeah.
The Rangers do look kind of worried.
Bizarrely.
Here's their plan. They tell Richie, who's behind the counter, to put on a new CD.
Yeah, that new mix, Richie. You know that new mix.
It's not, as would have been appropriate, a recording of the jazz concert that they were at 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
which
can't dance to jazz though, Michael. That's the problem.
So, whatever this groovy music is, it causes like 200 people to come from nowhere.
It's like the Beatles just showed up.
And flood onto the floor.
Yeah.
Past Bulk and Skull. Bulk nearly drops the concrete. Skull pats him on the back to congratulate him for not dropping it.
That causes him to
He drops it.
Yeah.
It breaks into 1,000,000 pieces.
They are distraught. Absolutely distraught.
You know, it's a lot of work to do a cast of sand.
It is. They look properly sad, and then the Rangers laugh at them, and it is that moment of like, okay, probably too far there. Maybe don't laugh at their misfortune.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit late for that. The ship has sailed.
Yeah.
They've done it 75 times already.
Have you noticed that they don't really do a lot of school these days?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we saw them take a class.
I mean, Saliguana, he was Miss Appleby's...
That's true.
Okay, so, Trumpet Top.
Yeah. Now,
For the Ranger Danger creature feature.
here's the question for you, Michael.
Yes.
Does Trumpet Top, like, do we attribute the reappearance of the several monsters to Trumpet Top? Does that influence his score?
I think we have to.
Okay, sure. So that's like his special ability.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yes.
I'm thinking somewhere up the top.
Okay, sure. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Haven't been up the top in a while. How close to the top are you thinking? Is he better than Guitardo?
I think so.
Similarly musical themed.
Yeah, I think he's better than Guitardo.
Is he better than the Pexter?
You know what? I would say yes.
Okay. Look, he's not better than Rapping Pumpkin.
No. I'm not sure he's better than Chunky Chicken. I have a lot of love for Chunky Chicken.
Okay, so let's put him between Chunky Chicken and the Pexter at number 18.
Yeah.
That's a respectable place.
It is. Like, he doesn't do a lot himself, which I think is why he's not super high on the list, but he does lead to a very cool monster return fight, and that's fine. So
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a new segment.
yeah, new segment.
We've finally gotten to proper Japanese footage.
Yep.
So I want to title this segment, What Was the Plot of the Original Sentai Episode? But that's a terrible title.
That is.
So we'll put out a call on Facebook to see if we've got a better title. In fact, I've already put out that call, and Kelsey has already gotten back to us.
Immediately. Like, we really just put the Facebook post up and she's already...
2 minutes after it went up.
Yeah.
She's suggesting Sentai Speculator, which I quite like.
Yeah.
If someone's got a better one, we can try that later.
Yep.
But let's certainly call that for now. So,
So for the Sentai Speculator, what was the Sentai plot of this episode? What do you think, Michael?
well, I know I've got it open.
Oh, so it's really just for me.
Well, yeah, maybe next time I'll not read it in advance.
okay.
But,
It's very hard for me to know because we only really just get a giant monster
yeah,
fight.
so let's just say Trumpet Top, the monster. What sort of monster do you originally think he was? Like, what do you think his gimmick or his theme?
Yeah,
or
I wasn't even really paying that much attention to his... was it a music theme?
No.
Okay.
He's kind of like white and has like definition on his body, and then he just has some trumpets in his head.
An image of him there?
I do. Give me 1 sec. So that's
Okay.
Top.
So is he like a sound theme monster? Maybe like he can induce, like, make you dizzy and stuff like that?
Nope.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to get it. You may just have to tell me.
He is tofu themed. He is a tofu monster.
Okay, I was definitely not going to get that.
No.
Why does he have trumpets on his head?
I guess he's got him. He can make you people drunk with a horn.
Okay. Right. I guess, yeah, fair enough. Cool. So it's a tofu-themed monster.
Yep.
I like tofu, so I'm down with that. I'm vegetarian, I have to like tofu. It's in the contract.
Is it? Is there an actual contract?
There is, actually.
Okay.
I'll show you one day.
Okay. His name is Tofu Hermit.
Okay.
And his human form, he has a human form
Yep.
that resembles the actor Charlie Chaplin.
Because, Charlie Chaplin. With the tofu.
I gotta say, those guys know how to do a kids' TV show.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the sort of-
drunk tofu.
That's the sort of insanity I need in my...
Yeah, exactly. Alright.
Cool. That was a decent episode.
Yeah.
So next week, we're going to do our last one before White Light.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
It's just a Disney film.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, a bit longer than a normal episode,
Yeah,
but
it's, 2 hours. But
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tale as old as time. Yeah.
Is it as old as time?
That's the song from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Don't give me that's a reference. That's not me just saying a thing.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Well, it's good. You'll get to it next week.
Excellent.
Or maybe it's just a Power Rangers episode with the same name, but that doesn't sound
I guess we'll find out.
Who's the beauty and who's the... Do you think the Beast is like a monster?
Yeah, the Beast is a monster and the Beauty is Kimberly.
Look, if you're right, I don't think anyone's going to be shocked.
Yeah.
But we'll do that.
We'll find out.
And we'll be back later.
See you next week, guys. Thanks
Bye,
for
guys.
listening. Hey, guys. Matt and Michael here again. We just had to add a quick post-episode tag to this.
Yep.
To let you know something important. That Power Rangers Beats a Power game is even better than we gave it credit for.
Yeah, so when we last played it, I'd already played it, so I let Matt have a go. After we finished recording, we gave the 2-player a try. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And, aside from it being a lot of fun, there's just so many great touches, little touches, that really make the game.
It's really nice.
It's so good.
If you can play it 2-player,
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
That's the way to do it.
And select the White Tiger Zord, and then have the other player also select the White Tiger Zord.
Yeah, something cool happens.
Yeah.
We had a very good time.
Yeah.
So, can't recommend it enough. Official Ranger Danger seal of approval.
If that was up on the PlayStation Network, we'd be downstairs right now playing it on a proper TV.
Yes, absolutely. I would pay, $20, $30 for that.
I think I'd want it to be bigger for $20 or $30,
But we do know how big it is.
That's true. We game overed at the Mirror Maniac.
Yeah, who was much better than he was in the episode that we're going to watch next week.
Ooh.
Just ruined pull back the curtain a bit there.
Weird time fluctuate. Ooh. Anyway.
We got stuck in a time vortex.
No, very, very good.
Yeah.
Highly recommended from us.
Get on it. Absolutely.
Yep.
Link in the show notes.
As always. All right.
Thanks,
That's all,
guys.
I think. Yeah. See you guys.